capacities over time. And we, as much as it wasn't like a thing that we were passionate about, we made ourselves passionate about it. And I think a lot of YouTube creators become like that even in the production world. You need to know how to do every job, and you need to get yourself excited about all these things that you have to do because there isn't money for other people to do it. And one of that for us was things like contracts, and I really dove into contracts and really started teaching myself what all this stuff meant and started asking questions for other people, anyone that I could get my hands on that had done a TV deal, that had done this type of deal. And it's hard sometimes to have access to it, but there's so many creators now and so many are in MCNs and so many do brand deals. VidCon is a great place to try to make friendships with people that you can go to for advice, to talk about what should I be doing, to then, once you have those reps, it's a better direction for them. You know what you want, you can help them negotiate on your behalf better.
Or know what to look for. Yes, he's correct. Like the process of events will be like build out your business in your vision, and then know what to look for when learning to trust someone to join it. You know, and that takes time and a lot of effort.
Yeah, and I'd say don't be afraid to ask people. Don't be afraid if you have someone who you know is successful in something, like he was saying. Like if you're going to move into something and you know that someone has done really good work, just don't be afraid to ask questions. You're gonna feel way worse if you are like if you're afraid to ask a question, you're gonna feel way worse when you realize that you absolutely effed up and like it's gonna suck for you. So it's way better to just like not be nervous about it, ask the tough questions, talk to a bunch of people. You have every right to do that.
And just to add to that, when
Sorry, can I just for some people who may not have the baseline for what some of these terms are, do you mind just giving a quick
Yeah.
what these things are you're talking about?
Yeah. Devin, no, say what you wanted to say, and then I'll try to define that stuff.
I was just gonna say, when I started my YouTube channel, I had no idea, like when a brand came to me, like what to charge them. So originally I was charging like $100 to do a big like ad campaign, and I had no idea like what the numbers were supposed to be. So I got an email from an agency, and they were just like, I love what you're doing. He says, I would love to support you. Like, you don't have to sign any contracts right now. He's like, let's just work together, see what happens for a couple months, then you can decide what happens. So he came in and he essentially was charging like 100 times more where it should have been the right number. So he got me on track so I could actually know what the industry standards were. So I was getting treated fairly. And then after working together for a couple of months, we're like, okay, this is a really awesome fit for me, for him. So then we essentially joined a partnership, and it's been awesome ever since then. But it was a learning process, but he was all about proving himself, opened my eyes to what was possible, and then the rest was history.
Yeah, I mean, good agents, the last thing I'll say before I answer your question, it's a very good question, is that good agents, you never wonder if they are adding value. Like my publishing agent, my Hollywood agent who makes the book to movie deals, like it never crosses my mind whether it's worth it because it's so overwhelmingly worth it. So like, yeah, it should be, and that's the way it should be, I think. So, a few definitions, because that's a very good question. An MCN is a multi-channel network. It's a network that represents and ostensibly provides services for lots and lots of YouTube channels, like in many cases, tens of thousands of YouTube channels. So, the big Maker. Full Screen, The Collective. There's a bunch of these networks that represent thousands of YouTubers. And they will come to YouTubers and offer them deals. Sometimes these are good deals and sometimes they are not good deals. And one of the concerns that's been expressed is that a lot of times for YouTubers who have smaller audiences, the deals are less good.
Yeah, longer.
And they're longer term, and they can be not advantageous to the creator. So one of the big deal points is usually term, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, a million years, or 1 year. And what we were saying is that we all, I think, feel like 1 year at a time is the most years at a time.
Especially considering, you know, speaking to like, I didn't even know what I should be charging for this or that, or like somebody said $50 to like talk about an app. $50 seems good. In traditional Hollywood, they have SAG, they have a guild, they have a union, which sets rates, and we don't have that yet because we are building the arena that we are like combating in or working together in, or whatever analogy you use. So because of that, people have been able to do things like have the 5-year term sort of thing. The only way to change that is to buy as creators in our circle is to have standards that we set amongst ourselves.
And that's partly by talking about it.
I was gonna say, and then they tell you, you signed an NDA, you cannot talk about what we did.
But I can talk about it.
Yes, you can.
I never signed it.
Don't make a video disclosing how much money you make, A, because that's douchey, B, because like that's unnecessary and it's not gonna teach anyone anything. But if you have questions about like what is fair for you, ask someone else who you know has either worked with them or you know knows the industry standards.
And just because some of these MCNs say they have certain channels, they don't always have them. So don't just trust.
It's the weirdest thing. You can find out online. Like that is the weirdest thing. You hear people that are like, oh yeah, like some networks are like, yeah, we work with Hannah Hart. Like that's one of the people. And I'm like, literally no.
No, I had to contact one because I kept getting emails from like the cute little girls and like, well, what do you think about this network? And I had to be like, email them and be like, please take down my photo. I'm not with your network.
Wow.
So I think that, you can't just trust because your favorite YouTuber or the people you look up to are on a network that they're actually with them. So it's better probably to talk to your peers or people that that are making videos.
Honestly, if you don't have enough leverage for yourself to